Last week you heard me say we had Chris Buescher. I said it there on the money bet. Hey man, if you're looking for that one long shot, take Buescher. It's a huge payday. I hate to inform y'all, man, we didn't take Chris Buescher, and it would have been a huge payday. And me and Lawrence are pretty upset, so we're not getting caught with our pants down around our ankles any longer. We're going to pull up our britches, throw our belt on, and whatever we say on rubbing and grubbing as that real long shot, we're going to be putting money on it, win, lose, or draw, man. We can't be caught like that. What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another episode of Rubbing and Grubbing. Rubbing is racing, grubbing is tasting. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Glad, hope everybody's having a great Wednesday night out there. We got a lot to go over NASCAR news-wise, man. We had an amazing race there at Bristol, in my opinion. We got a few other news item things we're going to get to, but before we do that, come on, y'all. You know how we like to start it out. We're going to start it out with the word of the day. So if it's the first time you ever tuned in, what's going to happen is every time I say a word during tonight, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I like to say it's age appropriate as well. If you're under the age of 21, feel free to play along. You've had plenty of time to get readjusted to the school schedule. Get some sweet tea, Kool-Aid, Red Bull. Take a sip as well, man. So last week's word of the day was Bubba. Well, I can tell you, I can promise you, I said that quite a few times if you go back and watch that show. So if you're an adult and played along, I'm sure you had a little good buzz and probably not so good Thursday morning. But if you're under the age of 21, you probably stayed up pretty late and gave it hell, man, which is pretty cool. So this week's word of the day is going to be, I have no idea. Lawrence is going to throw it up there somewhere. But every time I say it, make sure you take a sip, y'all. So getting right into that NASCAR news, I mean, I don't know how else to start the show out other than saying Chris Buescher gets a victory at Bristol, man. I mean, what an awesome job. I mean, Chris Buescher did his thing there towards the end of the race, held off my main man, which I needed about 10 more laps. I feel like Elliott would have got there. But at the end of the day, man, amazing, huge win for him. Second of his Cup career. If you all recall, he won one at Pocono, kind of on a rain type race. But at the end of the day, still got him that win. This one, he came out and did his thing, man. And what a huge win, not only for himself, but for Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. This is the first win that they have under that new ownership name, with Brad Keselowski being part owner of that. So, man, what just a huge classic way. And what's even cooler than that is if you watched last week's show, I picked him. There is that long shot to pay big money, man. But at the end of the day, just a big win for Chris Buescher, and glad to see him finally in victory lane in that 17, man. We'll see if we can get it back. We'll see maybe coming into Texas. I'm pretty sure that's where Chris Buescher's from. We'll see maybe if he goes to his home track and gets a win there as well. I mean, we've seen it happen before. Who knows, man? Maybe they got it figured out, but we'll have to wait and see. So moving right along with that news, Noah Gragson, man. I got to give a big shout out to my boy Noah. I really enjoy him as a racer and a personality. Wins Bristol. Now, I kind of wish he would have finished second in this one, just due to the fact there again, me and Lawrence had a little bet going with Brandon Jones. That was a pretty big payday out there. But at the end of the day, just an awesome race there in the Xfinity Series at Bristol as well. I mean, Brandon Jones was charging late. I feel like he probably could have made a move to put some car to him, a bumper to him. He didn't. He chose not to, which is very, respectable on his part. I think if the roles were reversed, Noah definitely probably would have gave him some bumper to get that win. That's just what kind of dude he is, and that's what makes him have the personality and fan base that he does. But a huge win, man. And I tell you what's even better is you already see the rivalry growing inside of two guys that will be in the Cup Series next year between Noah Gragson and Ty Gibbs. I mean, they had a little run-in on the track there. Noah, pretty much, if you ask me in my eyes, put the bumper to him, moving him out of the way. It collected Sheldon Creed, one of our guys as well, but both of them were out of the race. So Gibbs did a good job in the post-race interview, during the race after he was out from the care center and everything. Doing a really good interview, really not giving too much in details, going into detail and giving it too much life and losing his cool. He kind of just maintained and, didn't really address it too much. So going to be interesting to see this week what happens there if they get around each other on the track. But do want to give a big shout out to Noah Gragson. Now, the only thing I can say about Noah is he's really got to get it figured out why he's puking after these races, man. And if you're asking me, I don't think it's anything other than probably partying a little too hard during the weekend before, whether it's the night before or day before that. And the hydration, and on top of that, it's probably adrenaline, man. I mean, I know quite a few people that once that adrenaline gets pumping for that race win, or anything in life that adrenaline gets pumping, starts coming down off of it a little bit, you puke, man. I mean, it's just one of those things. But a T-shirt, I'm waiting for Noah Gragson to come out with these puke T-shirts, man, because I'm buying one. That'd be awesome, dude. But a big shout out to Noah out there for sure. So moving right along in that NASCAR news, man, a little bit more that affects the Cup Series here, and it's kind of an in-team switch, and it just kind of goes on with Kyle Busch and some other things that are going on. But the pit crews of the 11 and the 18 are getting flip-flopped for the remainder of the playoffs and the remainder of the season. So Kyle Busch's crew and everything is going to go over. Pit crew is going to go over onto the 11. The 18 is going to get Denny's. So, hey, man, I mean, we're going to see how that works out. But I can tell you there's some shit going on behind the scenes back there, yo. For sure, man. So I don't know about the blown motor and everything that's been going around. We'll get into that a little bit more in just a bit. But at the end of the day, I get it. As an owner, you just won a championship, and especially in the 11 car, probably one of your guys that's been in that stable the longest out of everybody. That's really kind of carry that organization at times when you think about it. And not only that, hasn't got the championship yet in Denny Hamlin. So big shout out there to them. We'll see how it works out. I can tell you the 18 is going to be hungry just to go out and get wins. He knows he's moving on next year. Wrecked equipment, any of that ain't going to bother him at all. He doesn't have to answer to anybody at Gibbs any longer for 7 more races, 7 more weeks, 8 more weeks out of the year. So at the end of the day, we're going to see the 18 car real hungry to go out and get wins, and we'll see if he makes that top 5 here at Texas. I mean, I know he's had a rough start and a rough year in general, really, when you look at it fast at times, but we'll see if he makes it, man. We'll get into it. So do have to give a big shout out there to social media, man. If you guys haven't yet, please go out, like, share, follow all our social media, man. You can find us on Twitter, find us on Facebook, Instagram. Most importantly, make sure you go out, like, share, and subscribe to that YouTube channel, man. That's where we make our bread and butter. Lawrence does an amazing job out there kind of editing the show and adding in some tidbits and some shorts.
Come on, man.
So definitely, if you haven't yet, go out, subscribe to that, like that, share anything we do on there. If you got NASCAR friends, man, they'll probably get a kick out of it. And like I said, I got some valuable information if you've been following over the last couple of years, man. I mean, there's some things that me and Lawrence talk about and predict at times, and there's times where we're way off, but it's a lot of fun. So like I said, make sure you tune into that. And while we're speaking of social media, man, if you go out there and you like and share and follow everything that we do on social media, I'm going to drop coming up a bar for you on these badass sunglasses I've been wearing for the last few weeks, which we're going to get into a little bit more on this. But we do have our own code here at Rubbin' and Grubbin' to drop to help save you 15%, man. So if you haven't yet, I'm telling you, these things are legit. The red fins, we're going to talk about more of that here in just a little bit on the show. But there will be something on those social media sites, and I'm pretty sure Lawrence got it scrolling on the screen tonight. Probably more than likely you can pop in that code. It's going to save you 15% at checkout, man. It's pretty cool. So definitely make sure you check it out. But getting right back into that NASCAR news, man, I mean, look, Kevin Harvick and his boohoo crying about the next-gen car and catching on fire and all this stuff. I mean, I'm going to get into it in just a little bit, but I do have to go on his website and buy one of these shirts. He's got a shirt out right now with comments being detrimental towards NASCAR and the next gen and just how things are being handled that says Happy's crappy ass, you know, discount parts or something like that, man. So I got to get it. I'm telling you, I got to buy that shirt. That's an awesome shirt. Once in a lifetime, never be made again. I'm definitely going to get one, man. And we're going to talk about more on that in just a bit. But biggest thing is, man, like I said, the news is going, the playoffs, man. We're into that round of 16 is over, round of 12. We had a couple guys that I didn't have picked to make it, you know, in, and we got a couple guys I picked to make it to the next round out. So if we were doing an actual Sweet 16 or, you know, type bracket, my bracket is done for sure, other than who can possibly win the championship, make the round of 8 and the Final Four. Maybe even just the Final Four, actually, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, man, it's been a good playoff so far. It's getting crazier and crazier as we move on, man. But we're going to get right into it, man. So that wraps it up for the NASCAR news, y'all. We're moving right on to my favorite part of the show, the checkered flag for charity. If you guys are new to tuning in, you hadn't ever seen Rubbin' and Grubbin' before, we pick a charity every year, whether it's directly for me or somebody that Lawrence knows, somebody I know, somebody John Henderson and Adele know, and they're doing here at Coaches, somebody the community knows, and we were asked to come together for it. At the end of the day, we come together for a great cause that is local right here. And Rubbin' and Grubbin' does what we call the checkered flag for charity. So every week, whatever car number wins that race, we donate that into the pot. If you have watched before, we all know anything under the 20 car of Christopher Bell is always going to be a 20. The 17 car of Chris Buescher won last week at Bristol, so that's another 20 going in. That brings us up to right around $3,400 on the year. Man, I tell you what, all of this is possible, one, for John and Adele Henderson opening the doors here at Coaches, for allowing myself to be able to come and do this show and raise the money for my cause this year. But all the patrons of Coaches Corner, everybody that's come out to the concerts and gotten the raffles for the Cooler Full of Joy, anybody that's gotten in our 50-50 for the barbecue contest, which I'm going to touch base on, anybody that's devoted their time or their money to come up here and help us with anything that we do at Coaches, charity-wise, you got to give yourself a big pat on the back, man. That's all made possible from you guys, and a lot of you guys are all local based right here out of the Savannah community, man, which speaks volumes for just our community and camaraderie that we have up here as Coaches, as being part of a family. We all come together for great causes, man. So this year, with no further ado, like I said, I've been saying it, Payson Thompson, a friend of mine and my wife, passed away tragically in her sleep. She left behind a daughter. She attends St. Andrews out here on the island. Her grandma and grandpa take care of her. So what we've been doing all year long with everything is we're raising educational fund for her, man. I know her granddad, UGA graduate, so you know, she got to be going to the dog pound, man. She got to be going up there to Athens, Georgia, man. I mean, UGA, she's got to be going there. So we're just helping raise money for her to help further her education, whether it be at St. Andrews or whether it be college, whatever may help this family out in a time of need, especially with the grieving and the loss that they've already had. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm doing it for this year, and I've been great enough to raise $3,400, and that's all because of you guys out there. So please, like I say, it doesn't matter. Anytime you come up here to Coach's Corner, if you got your waiter, waitress, bartender, John and Adele Henderson, grab one of them if you want to donate. Let them know you want to donate to Checkered Flag for charity or any cause. They're going to make sure that money goes to the right place. As I say all the time, it doesn't matter. Nickels, pennies, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, whatever it is that you got to give, you know, you get a bonus. You get a real good feel good for the day doing that good deed, and it helps a great cause that all stays local right here in Savannah area, y'all. So big shout out to everybody that has, and hopefully more people are going to come up and donate. That's what it's all about, man. So before we get into the next segment, I got to give a big shout out to my main man, Mr. Parker Eccles over there, Arbor Man Tree Service. We're getting ready to get into that Arbor Man Tree Service, who's hot and who's not. Man, I tell you what, it's still hurricane season. We got a couple storms out there now. We got one veering off. Old Fiona's going up towards Bermuda. We got Gaston down there. We don't know what he's doing yet, but I'm telling you, if you got some trees that are iffy back there, you need to make sure you give Arbor Man a call. You're going to see that number scrolling tonight as well. Parker will be more than happy to come out, take a look at your property and your trees, let you know what you can stay with. You know, if it's tree trimming, full tree removal, stump grinding, doesn't matter, man, what it is. If you're not even sure, give Parker a call. He's going to come out and give you a great price on some great service, all locally owned and operated out here off the islands, man. So make sure there again you give Arbor Man a call, like I always like to say, y'all. No job too big, too small, no tree too tall. Give Parker a call. Definitely make sure you hit him up there, man. We're getting into that time of year where things could pick up, but anytime you need it, Arbor Man Tree Service, man, going to take care of you. So getting right into that who's hot and who's not. I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all know it didn't take long for my main man. You see it right here. The main man, the myth, the future legend himself, Mr. Chase Elliott, to get back on top of the hot list. Look, I thought he was going to get Busher towards the end of that Bristol race after a really slow, bad start to the playoffs, y'all. Chase Elliott, there again, comes home in a second place finish. And I don't know how much you guys have watched, but I know when Chase Elliott usually finishes second, the next week he comes out and wins. And then he's good to finish second again. That's pretty much what's happened this year. So we're going to see if Chase makes that top 5 list this week at Texas, but I will tell you this, he regains the crown on the who's hot list for sure here for Rubbin' and Grubbin'. I mean, there again, I've said it all season long, not only from a fan's point of view, honestly, but just from general racetrack point of view. They have been on fire in the 9 camp. They have found ways to come out with really, really good finishes when they probably didn't deserve them or have the car to do it. They found ways, whether it been track position or whether it been different things, to come back through races where they didn't run good to get those top 10, top 12, top 5 finishes, stage points, so many different things. This team is tried and true, man. They've been tested. They are ready for battle. I think that this round you're definitely going to see that 9 car get a win. I don't know if it'll come at Texas. I don't know if it'll come next week, but that Roval, I got that one circled for that 9 car to look real good when we get there to that Charlotte Roval in the round of 12, y'all. So at the end of the day, I just calm, cool, collected, and consistent. That's Chase Elliott, man. He didn't have to get out of the car this past week and get rowdy with Harvick, get rowdy with anybody like he did last year. So at the end of the day, I look at them, him and Alan Gustafson, they're going to start getting it together. They're going to start figuring it out, and everybody better be on notice because that 9 car is coming for that championship, y'all. You heard it here 5 months ago. Promise you that. Denny Hamlin, hey man, slipped down to second spot. I mean, I gave him the spot last week just because of how the playoffs started and the guy that finished second in the first 2 races. You can't lie on that, man. Momentum's everything. Didn't have the greatest Bristol there, but at the end of the day, I still look at the 11 as being somebody that can bounce back at any time. Couple wins at Texas. Who knows, man? Might be fast there. Toyota's got a couple. You know, if you go back and look throughout the history, we've had 5 different winners in the last 5 races at Texas. Toyota's won, Ford's won, Chevy's won. This has got to be one of the hardest tracks to pick people to win on outside of probably road courses and Talladega and Daytona. I mean, we just don't know. So at the end of the day, I will take Denny Hamlin to be strong. I think that team there, again, has overcome a lot. It's if they can gel really good. This new pit crew gels in, being that. No mistakes. We've seen Kyle's pit crew make some mistakes this year as well. We know they're going to the 11. We got to see, you know, it's got to be clean. This time, it's got to be clean. I mean, every time that we knock 4 guys out, the competition only gets harder, and you've got to be looking at that reset that's coming up when we move from 12 to 8. It doesn't always matter how good you are starting this round when you know that in the round of 8, 4 guys get eliminated. If those 4 guys are below you in the points, it doesn't do much for you but put you on the cut line for the round of 8. So it's very important to still go out and get stage points and get playoff points and get the win. So at the end of the day, I think that 11 is really good at doing that. I think we're going to see Denny capitalize on a lot of things that he does. So be on the lookout for Denny Hamlin as well, y'all. Another guy coming right here out of the Gibbs camp, man, and I've been speaking highly about this kid from about early to mid-summer. Kind of got a little cold there for a while, but that's the 20 car of Christopher Bell, man. Christopher Bell is coming into his own. I think hands down right now, if we're speaking just right now in the last 3 to 4 races, Christopher Bell is the best Gibbs car that's out there. I mean, hands down. He's consistent. The pit crew hadn't made any mistakes. They've been able to keep the car together the whole time. They've had speed. They've qualified well. They've run well. Dude, I'm telling you right now, if there is a sleeper out there to win the championship, it's got to be a Christopher Bell, man, to me. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys that are talented just like Christopher Bell, but he's coming into his own right now this year in that 20. We saw taste of greatness when he was in Xfinity Series, man. I mean, he dominated wins, and especially with some of the guys he raced against some good talent there as well. So watching him win in the Xfinity Series, we know he's got the talent. We know he's got the capabilities. We know he's got the background. We all seen him wheel a dirt car. I mean, outside of Kyle Larson, he's got to be one of the best at doing it. So at the end of the day, I think that we don't talk about how good this 20 team is, and it's not going to surprise me one bit if we see him go out and win Texas. And to be truthful with you, I got it written down in another part of the show. We're going to be taking that 20 this week to win there at Texas, man. That's just all there is to it. So anyways, Christopher Bell making 3rd on that hot list, y'all. We're going to pause real quick for station identification right here on Coach's Corner Sports Network. Man, I hope everybody's having a good Wednesday, man. I'm having a blast up here. Hopefully y'all are having a blast on Hump Day. Cheers, y'all. All right, man. So getting right into that who's not. And, well, we're going to start it off like this. Those Toyota engines, they hot, but they ain't hot in the right way, man. They keep blowing up, man, having different things. Toyota had a lot of trouble there at Bristol, man. I don't know how much of it was parts, and I don't know how much of it was this. I mean, I do know that when it comes to getting an engine, you're issued an engine. It's not like this is Kyle Busch, you know, they get sent out to the Toyota teams, whatever's on the list. It's not like these engines go to Gibbs, these engines go here. They list Toyotas, and it could be, you know, a 2311 Toyota and a Gibbs and a Gibbs and a Gibbs and a 2311. But however that is on their list to send out and ship out those motors, that's how they get sent. So for people to say that Kyle Busch and Toyota rigged it up by sending them a bad motor, come on, man. I mean, the power steering thing, yeah, that's probably NASCAR's fault a little bit on the next gen, which we're going to talk about some more. But at the end of the day, if it's only Toyotas having issues with power steering, that tells me their setup's a little different than Chevys and Fords. So, I mean, I don't know how much to feed into it, but at the end of the day, Kyle Busch, like I said, probably a little upset that it happened, knocked him out of the playoffs already. I mean, it kind of takes away his farewell bid, if you will, from Gibbs getting that 3rd championship. But at the end of the day, hey, man, they're not hot right now. Toyota's got some parts. Kyle Busch is probably a little upset, and I can tell you, this guy with nothing to lose, no championship to run for, and the only thing to worry about is going out and winning. Doesn't have to worry about wrecking, doesn't have to worry about nothing. It could be dangerous. The 18 car could be very dangerous here coming up in the next 7 weeks, man, with nothing to lose but to go out and chase checkered flags. Trophy hunt, that man can trophy hunt, so watch out. Candyman might be getting hot, man. He might be melting. All right, man, so moving right on, look, on that cold list or on the not list, man, it's got to be Kevin Harvick, right? And it's his comments about derogatory towards NASCAR in general when it comes to the next gen car and just things, right? So this is what I look at, man. It is Kevin Harvick probably right about some of the things he said. He said that, you know, the parts are cheap and the fire issues that they've had, and, you know, it's just a plug and play preschool BS car, you know, yada yada. Look, at the end of the day, this is the first year of the next gen car, right? And we know that NASCAR took an extra year to work on it and try to get these things figured out, but some things just can't be simulated. I mean, we're talking about a 500-mile race at Bristol. We know that the load that ends up on the car is totally different than anywhere else we race. We know that the parts are under all kinds of different pressures and different scrutinies than anywhere else we race. I mean, I think this is just a trial and error with anything new. It doesn't matter if we bring in a new baseball. I mean, if you go back and you look at last year or this year when we talk about the baseball and how it got changed, pitchers complain about it 100%. You know, hitters complain. I mean, so many people complained about it because it's a change you're not used to, right? So these are just things that happen. But for us to be able to continue to grow as a sport, we've got to make these changes. We're not able to go old school and run what you brung and do this and do that and manufacture our parts. Everybody's under the same guidelines or rules. So look, in year one, I think the racing for the next gen car has been absolutely phenomenal. I think outside of the tire issues that we saw, which there again, that's some unknowns. We don't know. I think NASCAR and Goodyear did a great job in the season to kind of get these things fixed, to kind of move it forward, to not, you know, keep having the same issues every week where we go, you know, tires coming off the cars or whether it be tires going down. I mean, these are things that they address. So that's addressed. When the car catching on fire, NASCAR went back the following week. They're allowed to use different coatings to help with the heat in certain parts of the car and certain things of the car that help with those fires that Harvick was talking about. So they've made changes. Now, what I think they're going to do is take a really hard look when this season's over and go, okay, what do we need to address and what can we address and what can we fix headed into next season and change, not too drastically. I think they're definitely going to do that. I mean, you have to, right, with the safety issues and everything else that we've seen throughout the year. Yeah, you're going to do that. Do I think Kevin Harvick is totally wrong? I don't. I'm going to side with NASCAR mostly and say that NASCAR pretty much is right about the comments that they said about Harvick. Look, man, it's year one. They got to have time to get these things figured out, but I will agree with Harvick on this aspect of it. I really think that at the end of the season, they need to find a couple drivers from each manufacturer, a couple Chevy drivers, 2 to 3 Chevy drivers, 2 to 3 Toyota drivers, and 2 to 3 Ford drivers, all outside different teams. So Gibbs and 2311, you know, the RCR, the Hendricks, the other Chevrolets, the Penske's, the Stewart-Haas. You need to have 3 guys from all of those teams come in, sit down with NASCAR and say, you know, this is what we've seen. I'm not saying, you know, drivers as well, but I'm also saying crew chiefs or car engineers, because these are the guys that look at these parts that go, okay, well, I can't touch it. How can I make it better setup-wise? But they need to address their issues and their things with NASCAR as well, going, well, this is what we need from this part. This is what I've seen throughout the year. You know, this is what's happened to us. And then build from there. But do I think NASCAR is totally wrong for this next-gen car? No, I absolutely love it, man. We've drawn the field back together. We got 20 guys clearly that can go out and win a race during a year. I think it's awesome. I mean, I know that as we go on, top-notch teams probably will gain a little bit, but at the end of the day, I really want to see the racing stay the way it is. I think it's made the sport better. I think it's brought it more competitive, and at the same time, you're also saving some of these teams money. So that's just the way I look at it, man. So into that playoff picture, y'all, like I said, I talked about that earlier on. We're down from 16 into the round of 12. We got a couple past champions knocked out. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch both fail to advance into the round of 12. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. This is the first time in history since the playoffs started. No playoff driver won any of the first round races at all. So no driver inside those top 16, that 16 playoff drivers, won a race. You had Chris Buescher, Bubba Wallace, all getting those wins, you know, tearing it up there. So at the end of the day, man, I don't know what else to say other than, man, I don't know what's going to happen in the round of 12. I'd like to think we're not going to have any more first-time winners this year, but Martin Truex is still out there floating around, so I don't think you can ever count him out. I mean, we could possibly end this year with seeing 22, 21, 22 different guys win. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's just, it blows my mind going from last year to this year. The most drivers, and there again, like I said, those 3 guys with Buescher, Eric Jones, and, you know, Bubba Wallace getting those wins. It's freaking crazy, man. So I'm not even going to try to predict it anymore throughout the rest of the year, but I still will keep my championship Final Four the same and keep my driver the same, not changing that on you at all. But stay tuned, man. Keep watching week in and week out. This championship is going to be running. It's going to be crazy as hell. I promise you that. So getting right into that Bristol recap, as you heard me say earlier, man, Chris Buescher in that 17 RFK Ford wins, man, at Bristol. And I don't think anybody really saw this coming. I kind of called it a little bit on the show, on the money bets last week, saying if you're looking for a real dark horse, he's had success there in the past, take Christopher Buescher. Man, I tell you what, the man went out and got the job done. Like I said earlier, at the first win for Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, first win since Brad Keselowski's been there as part owner of that. And we saw him even lead some good laps during that race as well. So they brought some cars. I think it's going to take another year or so for this organization, RFK, to get back to maybe what we saw in Roush heyday, 5-car Roush, 4-car Roush, Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth, Mark Martin. You know, I think it's going to take a little while to get back there, but I definitely think that Brad Keselowski is one of the guys that'll help steer it in that direction. But I can't speak higher enough about Chris Buescher as well. Just such a nice guy, great race car driver. Paid his dues for sure throughout the sports, in his years in the sport, man, from ups to downs to highs to lows. Good to see a guy like that go out and get a win, especially at Bristol, and especially going out and earning it and racing a guy like Chase Elliott, holding him off. So big win there, man. Saw the 18 of Kyle Busch exit the race early. Blown motor. I told you about those Toyota motors, man. They're crap right now, at least on the 18 team. So we'll see if he can rebound at Texas. But he blew a motor leaving earlier. We also saw other issues there, a lot of power steering issues for Toyota. We saw Ryan Blaney have huge issues there. Not only the tire, you know, blowing up, but the tire coming off of the car. He lost his crew chief and some crew members for pretty much this run of the playoffs right here, 3 races. I mean, that's a big hit, man, and that's what I mean. These top-notch teams, it's kind of like losing a relief pitcher or a starting pitcher, especially with your crew chief, in baseball, or a wideout, a starting wideout, and a starting, you know, defensive lineman in football. So it's all the same. These guys practice week in and week out with each other. It's like a ballet. When you throw a different guy in it, you know, next man's got to step up. I mean, that's what I've taught all year long about how important trying to get really good crew members, not only as your starting roster, but when you do get guys suspended to fill in, it's going to be a high commodity in NASCAR's offseason. Mark my words. I bet there's going to be a lot of news about teams going around and trying to buy the best jackmen, the best fuel men, the best tire changers, the best everything. I guarantee you that's going to happen. Mark my words. You heard it here first, y'all. Oh, hell. So overall, to me at Bristol, man, I know a lot of folks kind of were upset about it, about how few lead changes we had there for the lead. Look, at the end of the day, it's kind of been the story of the next-gen car on short tracks outside of maybe New Hampshire. I mean, that was a cool race. But Richmond, we've seen it happen. We saw it happen again at Bristol. I thought the racing there again was always still Bristol. I love it. I don't care. Single file, we can run single file or side-by-side passing for spots, everything other than the lead. To me, it doesn't matter. There's always something going on at Bristol. It's one of my favorite races outside of Atlanta for sure. But at the end of the day, a lot of people complained about the lead changes and how it's hard to pass and there wasn't enough. So do I think it was a good race? Yeah, in my opinion, I love it. I'm always going to love it. I'm a fan of racing. It doesn't matter what it is, I'm going to love it. But at the end of the day, was it old school Bristol, 19, 20 different lead changes throughout a lot of different guys? No, it wasn't. But to me, still a good race. And, hey, best thing is, man, if you don't like it, turn TV off. You don't have to watch it. So moving right in, man, to that Texas preview. But before we do, again, shout out to Coach's Corner Sports Network. Shout out to Arbor Man Tree Service. Shout out to Lamar's Body Shop up here on Skidaway. And we're going to give a shout out to a new sponsor here in just a minute when I start picking top 5, y'all. So stay tuned. All right. Well, as they say, I think they say this, everything's bigger in Texas. I don't know how true that's going to be this weekend, but I can guarantee you it's probably going to be a good race, man. It's probably going to be hot. It's going to be fast. It's going to be hectic. Texas, that mile and a half is unpredictable, man. I have no idea who's going to win it. We saw the All-Star race. We saw craziness happen there. Look, I'm praying to God and my fingers are crossed that Texas raced something very similar to what we saw at the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte, because in my opinion, that was one of the best races of the year. That was an awesome race. If Texas races anything like that, we're going to have a really good show, man, which I'm stoked for. I'm stoked for it every week regardless, man, but I'm really stoked for this. So there again, mile and a half, like I said, we saw Ryan Blaney come home with that All-Star win, $1 million check, not without some scrutiny and some stuff from Denny Hamlin and some rule bending, and NASCAR bending some rules for him and coming out and changing the rule book after that. But at the end of the day, the rules are set. Texas is where we're headed, man. We're going to see who can go out there and give somebody else the horns this weekend. Come home with that pair of 6 shooters they give you in that cowboy hat. I don't know who's going to do it, man, but we're going to see what happens when we get to Texas for sure. So Kyle Larson won this last year. Hey, man, he might do it again. I mean, there's no telling. He's been kind of quietly good all season long. Hadn't really got the wins that we think of Kyle Larson getting, especially after last season. But there again, it's a whole new year, man. We reset when we start. And Kyle Larson could come get those 6 shooters, man. We're going to find out if he does it. But my top 5, moving right into it, man. Look, number 1, I don't know how he's number 1, man, but I got to take Denny Hamlin. All right, I know I blamed, a lot of things are going on, but I'm taking Denny Hamlin to win at Texas, man. I think hadn't shown everything on 1.5 miles this year, but I do think they're coming fast with a fast piece of equipment. I do think that it fits his driving style a little bit. As long as that pit crew's clean, as long as there's no mistakes, he doesn't get caught up, he qualifies good, and he's got a good car, Denny Hamlin will run up front all night, man. So I'll take him number 1 this week. Number 2, the man, the myth, the legend himself. I cannot go without taking Chase the Bulldog Elliott. Y'all, come on, man. Y'all know I'm going to take him. I mean, the guy is awesome. He's going to run good at Texas. It's historically not one of his better tracks. But with the odds that he's sitting at opening up, I mean, it's hard not to bet on it. He's a good driver, man. He's my favorite driver. He's always going to be in the top 5 everywhere we go. He's just that good. I mean, let's be real. He's just that good, y'all. Outside of a couple other drivers, it's somebody I'll take every week to win if you're giving them to me. So I'll take him number 2. Got as good a chance as anybody else to go out, start the round of 12 off with a bang, get the win and the 6 shooters and the gun and the trophy. Come on, man. Let's go get it, Chase. Go get that win, boy. Hey, number 3 for me is a guy I think a lot of people are going to count out just because of the trouble he's had in the opening rounds and throughout the year. Candyman, y'all. Kyle Busch, I'll take 3rd on that list. He's got the most wins amongst active drivers there at Texas. We all know Jimmy's got the most. I think Jimmy's got the most at about every track we go to outside a few. But at the end of the day, 4 wins there in the career. Gonna be fast, I can tell you now. He's got a knack for it. If you rewind the clock and kind of go back, I think last year he won at Texas as well. And I'm pretty sure in 18 he was having a rough season. Maybe it was 18. Maybe it was 20. Maybe it was 20. Maybe it was 20 that he won in Texas. Anyway, one of them years, it was the only race he won. It was really the only race he was consistent in, and I know that because I had him, and he won some units for me, man. So, look, you always got to take Kyle Busch when it comes to Texas. I'll take him 3rd on the list this week. 4 for me, got to be Kyle Larson. I already talked about him, man. The guy's good. If that high line, if he starts whipping that Chevy around the high line, man, I'm telling you right now, that 5 car can come home with a win. Again, quietly consistent all season long. He finds himself sitting in a really good spot in the playoffs. I'll look for him to hunt it down, possibly go get that trophy at Texas. Going to be fast, man. 5 for me. Can't leave this guy off, man. I told you guys, Christopher Bell, another Toyota. I got 3 Toyotas in that top 5. That's just how good Toyota's been on 1.5 miles this year, if you go back and look. So to me, Christopher Bell, I probably could have put him number 1 and swapped Denny Hamlin out, to be honest with you. Bell's just been on fire. I think that there again, if they unload good, they have speed in practice, they have a good qualifying effort, and they stay out of trouble on pit road and on the track, Christopher Bell can go and win this race, man. I'm telling you, they've been fast. They've found themselves there in the hunt towards the end of these races, happening a lot more often than what it used to in the beginning of the season. So what I'm looking at is I think he's finally hitting that knack. The 20 as a team is finally getting it together and rolling. They get a win, they might win 2, 3 more, man. Who knows? So be on the lookout there again for Christopher Bell. If there was a 6th place, I'd put the 6th place on there as well, but there's not. So getting into the dark horses, y'all, I got 4 of them this week. Really, I got 5 of them, kind of. I mean, it's hard to do it at Texas, like I said. We'll start William Byron there again. Got a really good track record. I think he's finished inside the top 3, top 2 the last 2 times at Texas. I know he finished there 3rd or in the top 5 last year anyways. Got a knack for this 1.5 miles. The 24 team always seems to unload and run well there. We'll see if William Byron can get some of that mojo, that early season mojo back and get another win. So I'll definitely be looking at him. The 4 of Kevin Harvick outside of Kyle Busch. Another guy that's got multiple wins there is Kevin Harvick. I think he's got 3. Not positive, but maybe 3 wins there at Texas. And he's a Ford as Lawrence is making it. So I got to take him there as well. I think he's got a really good shot out of the playoffs. Nothing to lose there again, but other than go out and get some wins. So we'll see if he does it. 3 for me, 45 car, man. Bubba Wallace. The last 1.5 miles we went on, Bubba came home with a victory. So if we're looking for somebody that can run good, maybe a top 5 finish, top 3, maybe come and have a shot at a win, I'll take that 45 all day. 2311 equipment has only gotten better as the year's gone on, and I'm really excited to see what this team does next year and 2024, to be honest. I wish there was a way next year they could possibly get Reddick out of his contract and go ahead and open up that third charter over there, but we'll see if that happens. But who knows, man. There again, 4, last week's winner, Chris Buescher. I'm pretty sure he's a Texas boy. He's from Texas. Who knows? Maybe he goes and wins at his home track, but I would definitely be putting some money on him, at least top 3 this week. I'm not going to slip up and not do it, man. I promise you that. And last but not least, that's Ryan Blaney, y'all. I mean, he's barely made it in. Another 4 Lawrence is showing me. Barely made it into this round of 12. Or, you know, the reset in the points. He finds himself sitting pretty good, but if we reset to the round of 8, depending on who's out, he could find himself outside the cut line. So, at the end of the day, I think Ryan Blaney there again showed what kind of speed they can have at Texas. There again, it's a totally different style of race. We got a long race to be had. You know, it's a lot more laps. It's during the day. A lot more things can happen. But I think if that 12 finds that mojo that we found throughout a good part of the year and finds some speed, qualifies good, Ryan Blaney, again, is another guy that you can take and, you know, possibly put in your roster for sure. He's got some speed. He could win Texas this weekend, man. So getting right into it, without further ado, y'all, we are going to introduce that new sponsor. I've been hitting at it the last few weeks, throwing them in there anyways. Redfin, boom, you guys see this right here. Redfin polarized sunglasses, dude, locally owned. They are awesome. They are going to be one of the new sponsors up here on Rubbin' and Grubbin'. I can tell you this, man. I've got a pair on. These are the Hatteras Blues. These things are legit, dude. Lightweight, amazing, amazing, amazing sunglasses, man. So, money line presented by Redfin Polarized, y'all. Whether you got money on the line or you got a wall hanger you trying to reel in, man, don't be caught without these badass sunglasses. I promise you that, man. So best polarized fishing sunglasses on the planet. The frames are Italian. The lenses are made, you know, by Carl Zeiss. I'm telling you, these things are legit, man. So if you haven't seen them yet, make sure you go on their website, Redfin Polarized. Check out their amazing assortment of glasses. They got some apparel as well, which I'll be getting a hat to rock out every few weeks up here on Rubbin' and Grubbin' as well, man. But, dude, they're awesome, awesome. It doesn't matter if you're offshore, on the lake shore. Do not get caught with these without these sunglasses right here, man. Hey, as I like to say right here on Rubbin' and Grubbin' for Redfin, man, live life, fins up. That's all I can say, y'all. I'm telling you right now, Redfin, man, that's the way to do it, brother. Hey, and like I said earlier, you can go on, you'll see it. If you put in Rubbin' and Grubbin', Rubbin' and Grubbin' at your checkout, man, you will save 15% off of these glasses, man. So make sure you do that. Show us some love. Show them some love, man. But I'm telling you right now, Redfin Polarized, probably some of the nicest glasses I ever had on my face. I promise you that, man. So getting into that money line, y'all, I'm telling you right now, this is what we're going to do for the remainder of the playoffs. I'm going to let you guys know how many units me and Lawrence are putting out there, all right, and what we're putting on each guy in a way. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much we're putting on who, but I am going to tell you the units we're betting. So we're going to throw 200 out there, 200 units out there. We're going to probably anywhere between 25 to 50 per driver on units, top 3s, wins. But look, I'm going to tell you like this, man. The 11, the 9, the 5, and the 18, you can guarantee we're going to be betting on at least 2 to 3 of those guys, and the 20 to win. We are going to be taking 2, 3, 4 of those guys to win for sure. I'm probably going to throw a guy, when you look at it, man, you got guys like Joey Logano, you got guys like Kevin Harvick, all sitting at really, really good odds. Last time I looked at the opening odds, I think they're like 18 to 1, 20 to 1. Dude, are you going to tell me I can get Joey Logano at 18, you know, plus 1,800, 18 to 1 anytime? I'm going to take it. Are you kidding me? It's a past champion. He's got Penske equipment, and you're giving him those kind of odds. So we're definitely going to be betting probably some win money on him as well. If you're looking for some top 3 guys back there a little bit further in the pack, definitely the 4, the 45, the 99 of Daniel Suarez. I think that there again, all could possibly have really good runs there. Long bets, a little bit bigger payday. You heard me say it again. I'll take Chris Buescher again this week. Top 3, maybe not a win, but top 3 for sure. Possibly a win. Who knows? And then again, the 10-car Eric Almirola. A lot of folks don't know, but Eric Almirola's had some pretty good runs here at Texas in the past. He's finished inside the top 5 quite a few times. So I think if Kevin Harvick brings some thunder and they unload pretty fast, I think maybe we'll see Eric Almirola have another really good run there, man. 43 car as well. I'll probably plug those 3 guys in as top 3 finishers, just hoping one, you know, hits it for us. I mean, the odds are good. So last week you heard me say we had Chris Buescher. I said it there on the money bet. Hey, man, if you're looking for that one long shot, take Buescher. It's a huge payday. I hate to inform y'all, man, we didn't take Chris Buescher, and it would have been a huge payday. And me and Lauren's pretty upset, so we're not getting caught with our pants down around our ankles any longer. We're going to pull up our britches, throw our belt on, and whatever we say on rubbing and grubbing as that real long shot, we're going to be putting money on it, win, lose, or draw, man. We can't be caught like that. So anyways, I hope that helps you guys out there, but I do look at some of those guys. I mean, there's a lot of other drivers out there that have really, really good odds as well. But there again, for me, those are just some of the guys I'm going to look at as we head forward into Texas. But tune in next week. I'll let you know what we end up running, who we end up winning, and what we end up profiting. I mean, last week, like I said, you heard me say 24 probably top 3. We had William Byron in the top 3, man, at plus 300. That helps a little bit, you know, knock a little bit of the edge off. So, hey, man, a little bit of dough there. Never hurts to win something. But, hey, like I said, man, I'll let you know who we do. But we're gonna get a big one. This will be the third race this year that me and Lawrence had at could have, would have, and should have had huge paydays in the thousands, and we didn't. But we're going to get one of these things coming up, man. I promise you. We got Talladega. We got the Roval. We got craziness happening in 2022 in NASCAR. Craziness is going to happen right here. We're going to get us that big win, y'all. Last week, you heard me say we had Chris Buescher. I said it there on the money bet. Hey, man, if you're looking for that one long shot, take Buescher. It's a huge payday. I hate to inform y'all, man, we didn't take Chris Buescher. And it would have been a huge payday. And me and Lauren's pretty upset, so we're not getting caught with our pants down around our ankles any longer. We're going to pull up our britches, throw our belt on, and whatever we say on rubbing and grubbing as that real long shot, we're going to be putting money on it, win, lose, or draw, man. We can't be caught like that. Before we get into that hard right turn by Lamar's Body Shop, man, I do got to give a big shout out to Lamar and all his crew up there at Lamar's Body Shop right here off Skidaway Road. Lamar's Body Shop's been servicing the Savannah area for 35 years plus, man. It is literally right down the road from Coach's Corner here, man. A hop, skip, and a jump away. I love Lamar. Such an awesome dude. I actually ran into him. Me and my wife went and ate breakfast that yesterday morning, and ran into Lamar. So always good to see him. We see him at concerts, man. Just a stand-up guy, always down for the causes and support here at Coach's Corner. And better yet, man, some of the best car service you ever going to find, man. Like I say all the time, doesn't matter if it's auto body, paint job, you need an insurance, adjustment, an adjuster, an insurance quote. Go see Lamar up here at Lamar's Body Shop on Skidaway Road, man. You cannot beat the service you're going to get there. Like I said, and it's a double bonus. I guarantee if you ask somebody, I'll run you over to Coach's, eat some lunch, man, go back, get your estimate, pick your car up, whatever it may be, man. But really stand up, folks. And again, locally owned and locally operated for over 35 years right here in the Savannah area, man. That's right off Skidaway again, y'all. Lamar's Body Shop. You're going to see that scrolling on the screen all night. So before we get into that hard right turn right here, we're going to get at it, man. It seems have another transition coming into NASCAR, and this is what I mean by that. And that's what today is going to be about, y'all. So we're talking about transition in years in NASCAR, right? Not only did we transition last year to a new car, which starts it out, but it's a whole new learning curve for a lot of guys, right? We're seeing that, one, the cars themselves, the adjustments that we make, the parts that we're getting, the equipment, everything, we're having to transition into a new era of NASCAR. We don't see this very often to the drastic level that we saw it this year, to be honest with you. We'll see cars change progressively throughout that until we get that new car. But this year, from last year's car to this year's car is huge. We're not producing in-house parts anymore. We're not making our own chassis. We're not doing our own engines. We're not doing our own brake calipers, brake parts. We're not doing any of that. It's all third-party manufactured through NASCAR now. So with that being said, a lot of these teams that have been building these great, amazing chassis had to wipe the slate clean, restart all over and relearn how to set these race cars up. So, there again, I'm going to resort back to Kevin Harvick's detrimental comments about NASCAR and the next-gen car. I love the next-gen car. It's been amazing. Like I said earlier, it's brought 20 different winners this season. It's brought inconsistencies to a sport that has been so consistent over the years of going, big money's going to win. I mean, go back throughout the last 10 years, and you name all the really big upset wins we've had. There's not that many, I promise you that. Not as many as what we could consider upset wins this year. You go back and you see over the last 10 years, you got the win for, Eric Jones, or you get a win for, a Christopher Bell the first time, or this guy first time. That's it. Other than that, you can pretty much put 7 guys in a hat, 10 guys in a hat, shake them up, and they were going to win every week. The Denny Hamlin, the Kevin Harvick, and the Martin Truex show for the last 5 years was horrible. You throw Chase Elliott in there, you throw Kyle Busch in there, you throw Joey Logano in there. Come on, man. For years, we've seen the big money teams win all the races. And now NASCAR got exactly what they wanted, and I think the team owners did too in a way. You're saving money. You don't have to put all these millions into this race team anymore to be the creme de la creme and the top of the top. You're able to take the cars, you're able to use the parts you're supplied, get the setup right, and go out and contend. Are you going to contend every single week and be fast? I haven't seen it yet, other than a handful of guys. But I've also seen as the season went on, there's more teams that are figuring out how to go fast, and the racing has been awesome. To me, that's just my opinion. I'm sure somebody out there will disagree with me, a lot of folks. But to me, the next-gen car has been a great step forward in NASCAR. And while we're speaking of taking step forward, we have to realize it from a marketing aspect of what NASCAR is doing. Do I agree with the 2023 schedule? No, there's things on there I don't like at all. I like some things they did, but there's a lot of things on there I still think need to be changed. Why? Because I'm an older fan. I'm older school, you know, this happens. But I am a racing fan. It's not just NASCAR. It's horses, it's dogs, it's pigs, it's turtles, it's tricycles, it's Formula One, it's Indy, it's dirt, it's everything. I love racing. I don't give a damn. You want to challenge me to a race parking lot? I'll throw $5 on it. We go run 3 laps around the parking lot. I don't really care. It's racing, right? So at the end of the day, from a race fan's point of view, you have to understand it's new. It's a change, right? So with that being said, NASCAR is going, okay, how do we get the next set of generation eyes on the sport, right? I'll roll with the punches. I think just like in any sport, when it changes, when head office changes rules or changes equipment or changes whatever, you got to get with the program, man. You got to roll with it. So as NASCAR continues to change their cars, their system, their rules, roll with it. If not, get out of the sandbox, man. It's pretty as simple as this. Either shit or get off the pot. I mean, it's basic, right? So with that being said, I think NASCAR is after a younger demographic of people watching NASCAR, and it's been working. I mean, we have slowly seen from last season and the season before to this season an incline in viewership, an incline in attendance at the tracks, an incline of youth, man. We are seeing older guys like Kevin Harvick, older driver, excuse me, not even that he's that old, but Kevin Harvick, the Kyle Bushes, the Martin Truex Jr.'s. A lot of these guys that grew up racing multiple generation of race cars struggle with this next-gen car. Is it something new? I think it resorts back to the younger guys are picking up quicker. I mean, take a look at it. We got Ty Gibbs moving up after one full season at Xfinity, and I know a lot of folks go, well, he raced 2. Well, no, he raced 1 full, and he raced a partial on the other, which he raced a lot of races, but 1 full season moving into Cup. And I know he's got a grandfather, really good equipment, and the kid's really talented, but you wouldn't have seen this 15 years ago, 10 years ago. He would have wanted to win an Xfinity championship, which he still could do. But at the end of the day, he's easier to adapt to this next gen for the youth than it is some veteran drivers. I'm not going to say all. Denny Hamlin, you know, hasn't been the Denny Hamlin of 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but he's kind of figured out a way to be fast in it. So there again, I think some guys can adapt, some don't, and I think we pay that a tribute, one, to the youth of the drivers in the sport that are coming in, and the use of simulation in training. It's a training tool for these guys to go out and log laps. You know, NASCAR mandates can't test on a NASCAR track. You can't run laps on a NASCAR track. So simulation is the closest you're going to get, and it's really paying dividends. So I think that's where it's at. But with all that being said, we're not far from NASCAR E-League. We're not far from its own NASCAR-sponsored electronic racing league. We see it in iRacing now, but I think it's really getting to become a legit thing. They're going to run a season. NASCAR will sponsor it. Teams will sponsor it. Sponsorship will sponsor it. It's going to be different, but that's where we're headed. So with that being said, of course we're going to attract the younger crowds, right? And that's what NASCAR needs to keep this going forward and generations forward. You need guys like my age to take their kids to the race, get them involved in racing, loving NASCAR, have a favorite driver, buying the merchandise, going to the races, supporting it as a whole, and then, you know, that's how you spread the love. You get the next kid to take his kids and you know, their friends and people that never would even thought they'd enjoy NASCAR enjoying NASCAR. I mean, let's just be honest. So that's how we grow the sport. NASCAR's headed in the right direction. There's been a lot of backlash online about it. I love reading everybody bitch on Twitter and social media, because that is the biggest thing that social media gave, is everybody to be able to express their opinion, whether it's wanted or not, especially on Twitter. But at the end of the day, man, I think the youth movement and what we got going in NASCAR is 100% in the right direction. The only thing, like I said, I would change personally is maybe a little bit higher horsepower, some places, maybe get the short track thing figured out. And other than that, keep it where it is, man, because I tell you what, it has been an amazing, amazing season so far for 2022. And we still got 7 races left, but it has been one of the best seasons that I've watched in the last 10 years. I thought last season was good. This season's been really entertaining and really neat to keep up with, man. So that's going to do it for the rubbing part. Moving right into the grubbing. And since we're going to Texas, man, I got something probably they do really big in Texas. I bet somewhere they got a damn pan of this about this damn big on the table somewhere. Guaranteed, man. But going with the old house nachos, y'all, man. You can't beat the nachos up here at Coach's. These are awesome, awesome nachos. Got the salsa, got the sour cream, got the jalapenos just for Texas. I told them to throw a lot on there, too, because I like the heat. And red beans, man. We got beef, chili. Woo! I'm going to tear these things up, boy. I cannot wait, y'all. So, as I say all the time, there is not one bad thing you can get off the menu here at Coach's Corner. I promise you that, drink-wise or food-wise. I have made my trip through this menu I don't know how many times in the years I've been coming up here, and it has never failed. I have never had a bad meal out of Coach's, man. And, like I said, make sure you stay up to date, man. Monday through Friday, the lunch specials, boy, come on. It's like getting mom's cooking straight out of the kitchen right here at Coach's, man. So make sure you come check that out, y'all, for sure. So getting ready to get out of here, but before we do, man, I got to give a big shout out again to John and Adele Henderson here at Coach's Corner. Man, I tell you what, everybody here, the staff, the management team, the waiters, the waitresses, everybody that's here at Coach's, man, is out of this world friendly, out of this world amazing, dude. They have such a great staff. Make sure you come out and support this local restaurant, man, right here at Coach's Corner, Thunderbolt, Georgia, center of the universe. But not only that, man, we got the TP going up, dude. The Braves clinched the playoffs for what, 5th year straight? Playoff berth, 5th year straight. TP is getting ready to go up, and if y'all know how John Henderson does the TP, it's going to be bigger than what it was last year. I don't know. I hadn't talked to him personally. I saw him at Jalapenos the other day, but he was doing business. I didn't want to mess with him, so I didn't really chat with him about it, but I guarantee he's got something up his sleeve. This is probably going to be one of the biggest TPs ever, man. Something going to be set up with it. I can't wait to rock it out. All going to be for charitable cause there again. Y'all know that, so make sure when you see that TP raised up here at Coach's Corner, you a Braves fan, come out, show your support, man. Donate. You honk the horn. Honk for the Braves, man. You know how we do it up here at Coach's, man. So not only with that being said, who we got this weekend, Lauren? We got a concert this weekend? No, nothing this weekend. Next weekend's Kid Rock, 30th. Kid Rock coming up on the 30th. Kid Rock Tribute Band right here in the Sound Garden. Man, I tell you what, if you have not seen a show, a music show here in the Sound Garden at Coach's Corner yet, like I say all the time, you sleeping under a rock, because incarceration, even if you incarcerated, you got a phone, man. So you sleeping under a rock. What's that? And it's going to sell out. Yeah, that one will sell out, guaranteed. I already know buddies of mine that are waiting. They're getting the tickets. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, you better get on them, because it will sell out, and it's going to sell out quick, man. I will say this, y'all. Let's see, the following weekend, you got a big show. October 15th coming up. You got Guardians of the Jukebox, man, an 80s tribute to MTV. These boys are awesome, dude. To be honest with you, it's made up of a bunch of musicians who have played with God only knows what bands. I mean, lead guitarists, bass players, drummers, vocals. They have traveled everywhere, man. It is going to be an awesome show. But not only that, during that day, to get that day started off, we do have the first annual Coach's Corner Presents Rubbin' and Grubbin' Burnout Barbecue Contest going right here in the back side of the parking lot back there, y'all. If you haven't yet, you can go on Facebook, check that out. We've got an event set up. You can pre-register there or register the day of. I will be here at the butt crack of dawn, guaranteed. My ribs, you guys can come out and try to beat me if you like. I mean, I haven't officially ever won one of these yet, but I got some good ribs. I promise you that. We'll see how the day goes. Maybe this will be the year I finally lock down that first place win on the rib category. But like I said, you can pre-register or you can register the day of. Registration is only going to run from a short window from about 8 o'clock to 9. There's an hour to come in and register. Now, you can register for individual categories. There's 3 categories going down: chicken, ribs, and any other pork item outside of ribs. So there are 3 things going down. Those judgings will be taking place at noon, 3, and 5. So if you want to come and do the ribs and you show up at 10 and you can cook them, hey man, you're more than welcome to get in. You won't be allotted for the big grand prize money, but you will be allotted for that that individual prize payout, because we are paying cash money out for the barbecue contest. But we got a lot of raffles going on. We got a big 50-50 going now. We've got gift baskets from locations down on Tybee, different restaurants down there. We've got a boat trip given by one of our buddies over there at Island Boat Shuttle Tours. Man, there's just a lot of things, man, that we got going. So if you guys hadn't seen it yet, October 15th from 9 till 5, 9 to 5, 5:30, y'all. We're going to get the hell out of here because of that concert. But it's going to be a great day, man. Make sure you come out. Make sure you show your love and support. What's that? Oh, yeah. There again, that's all for the Checkered Flag for Charity for Pace and Thompson, y'all. Sorry, I'm getting carried away tonight. But definitely make sure you guys come out. Again, that's October 15th. Barbecue contest, 9 to 5:36. Concert starts right at 7. Again, that's Guardian of the Jukebox tribute to the 80s MTV. Last time I heard it was one of the best shows up here at Coach's. I had buddies. Lawrence had buddies. That one's probably going to sell out too, so if you can, go ahead and get your tickets, y'all. And there again, come out, show your support earlier in the day at that, Rubbin' and Grubbin' barbecue contest, man. Going to be a great time. So do got to give a big shout out there to all the shows here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Coach Carl DeMasi, who's on first base with Kyle Lawson, man, that up to date, keeping you up to date on everything MLB. I know the coach is loving it out there. Aaron Judge is on a tear. I mean, the Braves chopping it up, doing their thing, man. He keeps you up to date on everything. The man knows his stuff about MLB. So look, if you need some news, want to hear some cool news, make sure you tune into that. That drops every Tuesday. You can stream that one anywhere you stream your podcast as well, right? Stream him anywhere. That's Coach Carl DeMasi, who's on first base, so make sure you check that out. You can also catch Coach Carl DeMasi. Also catch him every Saturday morning with the Carl DeMasi Sports Report, Prep Sports Report. That's keeping you up to date on everything high school sport-wise in the Savannah area, local area, all the way down to Brunswick. He keeps you up to date with everything in our area, to be honest with you, man. Baseball, football, volleyball, basketball, soccer, lacrosse, swimming. I don't know what all else they got out there. Tennis, golf. Coach going to keep you up to date on all prep sports. That's Saturday, 9 until, 10:30-ish, somewhere in there. Runs it every Saturday. I love watching it. Gets my morning started off good at work. Me and my wife both watch it while we're at work for a little while we can. Coach is just so knowledgeable. Been in this industry so long, man. Coach, love you, brother. Hey, I did donate out there to your Cure for Kids as well. So if anybody's out there listening, got a GoFundMe page. Carl DeMasi does, doing his own thing, raising money for childhood cancer. So make sure, y'all, go on, find that GoFundMe page, man. Donate. Me and my wife did. And thank you, Coach, for everything you do for me. You know I'm going to come give it back to you, brother. Got to give a big shout out there as well to Hot Grits Podcast, man. You can stream that anywhere you stream your podcast as well. Every Tuesday morning, you can catch that live. Travis does an amazing job, man, out there putting it down like a baby. If you're from Savannah, you'll catch on to the Hot Grits riff right there. But anyways, man, my man Travis does a great job. Want to get up with him sometime soon, do some more stuff. So Travis, give me a call, man. I'd love to pop on Hot Grits again. Hey, at the end of the day, 19th hole, last but not least, I can't leave them hanging. Them boys do one show a year for a week. And, man, let me tell you, they probably drink enough damn alcohol in that whole week to support everybody for a whole year. But at the end of the day, that's Sean and Brent Herb. Throw their thing down, do their thing, man. Them boys are crazy. So if you hadn't seen yet, check that out on YouTube as well. Just type in 19th hole. You'll be surprised what you find, man. Herb Brothers going to pop up on you first. But, hey, man, I hope everybody had an amazing Wednesday out there. I hope everybody's having a great hump day, spending time with your family, man. I tell you what, it's becoming a beautiful evening. It was a little warm today, but I'm telling you that humidity's died down, sun's going down, nice little breeze blowing back here. It's an awesome night to come out to Coach's Corner, y'all. So, hey, if you don't feel like cooking, you just getting off, you on your way, you seeing this? Come on, man, stop by Coach's, get a cold one and some tacos or something, man. Hey, at the end of the day, like I said, got to give a big shout out to John and Adele again. I'm getting ready to get out of here. Hope y'all have a great Wednesday. Make sure you give your loved ones out there a big hug and kiss. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. I love y'all. Till next time, as always, stay safe. Bam. Wash your hands, y'all. Love y'all.